look at what they've done.
They're building.
I'm Brian from B&D's Kamikaze Bees. It's a funny name because the bees come over here. This is our swimming pool. And because the bees have a bit of a different gyroscope than we do, and they can run upside down, when the pool's uncovered, they tend to think that's the sky. And so they make a kamikaze dive for the water and drown and die. Hence the name. Anyway, today I'm going to be inspecting an induction that I did about a month ago. So these are the native Australian bees that I've got. And so the gentlest way to actually split the hives is by doing an induction. And what I mean by splitting the hive is that every 3 or 4 years in this area on the mid-north coast, you need to split the hives because the hives get too big. In Queensland, they split the hives every 12 months because it's a lot sunnier up there all year round. But down here we have a little bit of cold winter, and the bees use all their stores of the honey to actually have something to eat during the winter time when they're actually quite dormant. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to don my head net on. I've got my Bushman repellent. It's a repellent. It's not something that's actually going to kill the bees when it gets on you, so it's a really good thing. Also, if this hive, as I suspect, is advanced enough in the next month, then what I'm going to do is extend them. I'm going to take the viewing panel, the hard viewing panel that's already in there, take that out, put this extension on there, which is what normally, and have actually a plastic viewing panel. So if I have to go and inspect them again, this thing here is a lot easier to look through, and actually I've taped over a little hole where at the top the bees tend to put their stores of honey at the top and their stores of pollen right down the bottom of the hive. So I've covered that over at the moment, and this tape here, I've covered that little piece there because I don't want them up there at this stage until they start forming brood. A brood is the new little bees in the cocoons, the larvae. The pupae goes to a larvae, and then they become a little bee, and then they hatch out. And with stingless bees, this particular type of stingless bee is a Tetragonula carbonaria, or T. carbonaria for short. They were classified as Trigona carbonaria, but it was reclassified some years ago to Tetragonula. So
sounds like an Italian dish, love.
Yeah, it does. It's a tongue twister. So anyway, as you can see, the bees are we're in their way at the moment, and the bees are actually buzzing around here, being a bit disorientated. With native Australian bees, they don't have a stinger, so therefore they're called stingless bees, but they do bite, and they have a little bit of a nip on them. Now, carbonaria don't nip as much as Tetragonula Hawkingsi, which is a Queensland bee. They don't come down this far, down the coast. They're generally around the Brisbane area and up in Queensland because it's a lot hotter up there for them. And they are really savage little things that bite to keep you away and to keep other predators away, by the way. So I'm donning this gear on, this here, so that just in case my little carbonaria ones want to nip me, they'll be repelled away from me. And the net hat there is just to keep them out of my face, keep them out so I can see better. Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do now, this tape here, as you can see, while they're in the transition of having been opened and the segments being put on there, they need some protection until on the inside they start sealing up the inside of their hive. So they need a little bit of protection on the outside, so I'm going to tape them around, and that's what normally happens. So we're going to go...
Busy this morning?
Yep. Busy little bees this morning, and they're over there.
You're going to get an upset because you're here?
Yeah, they certainly are. They're very upset. go and have a look at these bees. So I'm taking the top. This is really good to keep the water off, keep the rain off, and it's really essential to keep the hives dry. And those things go a long way to doing that. Now, as you can see, if you come over here, I started the eduction on the 12th of the 3rd. Okay, the 12th of March. It is now today, the 22nd of April. So I've inspected the bees on these occasions. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the existing tape off. So that we can get into the hive and inspect the hive yet. And this particular tape doesn't seem to be able to be reused again, no matter what you do. Alright, so we'll take this top off, and as you can see, this is what the bees have done. So can you see in there? Oh, look at what they've done.
They're building.
They're building, they sure are. So what I'm going to do now, is take this tape off to expose the viewing panel, because I'm going to swap the viewing panel over today, because it really looks like they've done a fair bit in there. I'm going to get my hive tool like this, try and make sure, take this hard panel out. Now have a look in there. So can you see what they're doing? So they've built structure. They're coming out from the main hive, and it looks like they're starting to put some honey in there. Getting ready. Right down the bottom there, I've put some gutter guard to help them as well, and they've completely filled those little holes in. So they've been really busy. Now, put that over there, and I'm going to put this, because these particular oath hives have 3 segments. I started off with just the 2, and so now I'm going to put the 3rd segment in there. When I put this in here like so, and as you can see, the lid isn't very deep at all, and so what will
Get out of there, dude.
What will eventually happen? What will eventually happen is they'll bring the structure right up. Come over this way. Come and have a look at this. They'll bring that structure all the way up here, and their brood is formed in a spiral shape, a large spiral shape, and which is called an advancing front. And so the older brood is down the bottom, and the newer brood's at the top. And so as the bottom hatches out and becomes new workers, the advancing front keeps coming up and up and up and up and up. And those little bars in there are just so that if I go to split it later on down the track, it can split a lot easier. The brood gets split in half and doesn't get wrecked. So we'll put this one back. Now I'm going to write on it. Today's the 22nd of the 4th, 2024, and extended. What I need to do now is seal it up with the tape. Try and keep out as much water as I can while the bees are attempting to seal it up on the inside to keep the water and all the pests and predators out. You'd be surprised how many little predators these guys have that want to get to the honey, get their hands on the honey, get their hands on the hive. Okay, so that's the top one. That's the top one. Now I've got to do the same for this one here. New one that I've put on there, so this is a little bit easier. this tends to disorientate the bees a little bit, but then after a little while they start calming down. Alright, anyway, that's how I do it anyway. Use the cloth tape, it'll come off a little bit easier. Then in there, like that. While we're doing that. Lid here, I'm just going to get the propolis and scrape it off, and I'm going to put it round the front so that they all know where the resin, where their house is, where everything is. So unfortunately a couple do sort of get hurt in the process, but unfortunately that's unavoidable. So we'll put that like that, because these guys, a lot of them are probably charged with the job of sealing all of that up. So we'll put that in there, and they'll grab that propolis there, and so what I'll do is we'll put this here. The remaining bees they'll probably find their way into the main hive there, and they'll leave that alone, and then I'll come out and clean that up and put it away a little bit later. Hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll probably come out in about another month's time and have a look and see what kind of progress they've made. We are heading into winter time, so into a dormant period, but there does seem to be in this area some plants that still have pollen and nectar. So anyway, thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time. Bye.